mandatory in
okay,
schools.
listen, it's me asking. What is the importance of education?
Another question.
Our dear judges, they are not even aware of the importance of education. Moreover, you're in school, you're not aware of the importance of education, and you're here
your
just...
questions after asking,
me asking,
you sit
it's me
down
asking.
and they answer you.
What are some of the impacts of such education?
Another question.
You have not yet answered me, and you're just asking other questions.
I'm requesting you to ask your questions at once, then you sit down and they answer. The importance of education, it equips students with skills and knowledge. And you asked me the importance of sex education.
The high tab of the judges, two competitive sides plus the audience. Good afternoon. My name is Nyangoma Rachel, the first negator. I have come along with my co-negators, Ruth, the second negator, and Robert, the third negator. We are here to negate a resolution which says that should comprehensive sex education be a mandatory in schools? And we as team negator, we have an answer as no. Reason? We as team negators, our house being the Ministry of Education and Sports led by Honorable Minister Janet Kataha, and limiting our resolution in Uganda, we said that comprehensive sex education should not be a mandatory in schools. Why? Education helps equips learners with new skills. That means if sex education is a mandatory in school, it is going to equip learners with sex skills. We as team negators, we say that comprehensive sex education should be posed in school because of the misconception in school. That is, students are taking policy in a wrong way, thus leading to problems associated with sex. The proper of judges allow me to define the key terms in the resolution. According to the Google search, comprehensive sex education refers to government or institution policies requiring schools to teach on evidence-based age-appropriate curriculum covering human development, that is puberty and reproduction, relationship and content, and also sexual reproductive health, in bracket contraception. Mandatory. This is something required by law or something compulsory. School, this is a place where students go to learn and be educated, which consists of pre-primary level, primary level, and post-primary level. The proper of judges allow me to lay out the negators' points. Comprehensive sex education exposes students to sexual feeling and eagerness to experiment what they learn, which results to pregnancy and sexual transmitted diseases and infection. The proper of judges, in this I mean that, for example, in the pre-primary level, in case a young child is not knowing all about sex, but in case he's taught sex education, he would like to know how if they say that sex leads to pregnancy, leads to STD, so he will be eager to do the experiment and prove whether it is correct. Sexual education leads to fundamental parental rights and authorities. For example, in case a parent advises her child that please you be safe, and then even when a child reaches at school, the teacher is going to be saying other things. A parent may say that you should avoid being friends to boys, and at school they will say that you should be friends to boys as long as you get good friendship. So this one is going to bring out undermined parental rights and authorities. Comprehensive sex education will lead to will lead to teenage pregnancy. In this I mean that students in lower levels, such as the pre-primary level and the primary level, will, in case they are taught about, I beg to rest my case.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you all much for that comment. You were interesting. You spoke to us. Please, would you please give me a high five? I'm a sexual educator. What? Thank you.
Pardon.
You spoke about education, but not sex education, because you told us that education equips learning skills. Is it? Excuse me, is it? Thank you.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
You asked the question and I'm responsible for answering.
Stop shouting at me, please. Just calm down.
You said I said that in all of this we are concerning about education. Since even we were
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Focusing on the Ministry of Education and
Be mindful of my time. Thank you. I'm asking another thing. You spoke about like sex education will be exposing sexual feelings to children. I know at your school, you might be in senior 1 or 2. Is it? I guess it is the fact. You have been studying about physics and chemistry. Have you ever been exposed to physics feelings?
Physics and chemistry is not all about sexual education.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All the definition that you were trying to mean, you made the glossary. Thank you. I rest my case.
From dark to light, from country to closure, all schools have commenced to respond to our problems. To let people aware, schools have addressed problems like peer education. Rwenzori, you can easily get the evidence of peer education. Rwenzori has also been in schools formulating clubs in different schools so that they can get awareness according to the sex and how the health status of the students in different schools. Evidence to affirm to this point, page 38 in Biology Book 4 and Longhorn Publisher, it shows that if that student was taught about sex abuse, she would have taken the pregnancy. That shows the leaked education about sex. Even in physical education, page 40, 140, 40, 41, 42, and 43, Book 2, under Vision Publisher, it shows defensive measures are used to defend yourself if you are attacked by any person forming you to have sex harassment. Dear adjudicator, you can take a look of this. My dear, I want to inform you that these people have taken a wrong path, that they need to be educated on this factor that dear, we are facing a trouble of them not being engaged in school clubs. That's why they have come here not expressing this evidence that we are peer education members. We as a group, we are here to be educated by our sex, and so we are ready to be protected by our sexual gender. For that reason, my dear adjudicator, I am ready for cross-examination. I rest my case.
Excuse me, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, you are most awesome.
You said you are really supporting that comprehensive sex education should be a mandatory in school. But Could you account for the rate at which students are getting pregnant, and yet you are saying that there is peer education? We speak about sex education in schools.
For the aim of addressing that point, peer education, I have stated that it has addressed different clubs, and for them educating different people, it has also made people to be aware of that reason, and this matters.
I said account for the rate at which students are getting pregnancy. I'm not asking the importance of peer education.
People are getting pregnancy because of them not getting
At
aware.
which rate? I asked the rate. I asked the rate. Can you tell me the rate?
The rate of pregnancy is decreasing per now as we are getting skilled people as teachers. They are also getting to address our problems as we are. Our education club has also educated.
I think you have failed to.
Time up, please.
You have failed to
Arrest
answer
my
my
case,
question.
dear Honorable. You are awesome, dear.
I start my speech in 1, 2, 3. Our dear adjudicators, I'm really wondering why the team affirmatives are coming here providing evidence and they want sex education to be made a mandatory in school. I don't know whether their evidence is making sex education a mandatory in schools. They should account for that. According to the current status in Uganda today, we are seeing that the youths are getting pregnant at a higher rate. Do team affirmatives mean that this is lack of comprehensive sex education in schools, and yet we are seeing PSC messages being displayed in schools which are talking about the dangers of early sex, teenage pregnancies, but the youths are still getting pregnant? Dear affirmatives, I would like you to clarify me on that. The team affirmatives are also saying that there is peer education in schools. They have also failed to answer our question that, as earlier asked by the first affirmer, that they should account for the rate at which students are getting pregnant in schools. They have failed to answer that. So why should it be made a mandatory in schools, and yet students are still becoming pregnant, and of which we already have peer, and of which we already have the PSA messages in school, and the students are getting pregnant? Is there any need to make it a mandatory? Our dear adjudicators, the team affirmatives should check on that. As team negators, we come here not saying that sex education should be made a mandatory in schools, but we provide an alternative method of teaching students about sex education. What do I mean there? There should be parent-child communication. As earlier stated, I will take an example of a girl child. Girl childs mostly deal with their mothers. That means if I am taught by my mother about what the dangers that will come out from me having sex at a tender age, I will be in position to listen to her and adjust and do what is required of me. Instead of wasting my time in school telling me sex education, and of which I have my mother, I have aunties, and they are doing the same at home. That means that is wastage of time making comprehensive sex education in schools. They should put in cultural sensitive programs, develop programs that respect and incorporate diverse cultural and religious perspective in sex education. When I pick a leaf from the ATR, that is the ATS, that is the African Traditional Society, we are seeing that there were periods where they would form cultural camps, and these cultural camps were specifically for educating girl child and boy child about comprehensive sex education. That means in Uganda today, if they come on board and bring the cultural camps that were done the other time, if they borrow that idea and introduce the cultural camps, it will help to educate the teenagers about the dangers that are associated with having sex at a tender age, and of which it will not waste time for the teachers in school, emphasizing and teaching students about comprehensive sex education. There should be peer-led education. Train peers to lead sex education discussions promoting related and engaging conversation. What does that mean? Like for example, in different schools, we have prefects, and of which we respect more than the teachers we have. We have senior women, and I believe that every student here doesn't like a senior woman in school, because the senior women are coming on board telling us this and the other one. But if my fellow peer is telling me the same, you will tell me I have gone through it. For example, using examples of the girls that have already gone through that. They will come on board, tell us that I've already gone through this, and they will show me the importance. Instead of wasting my teacher's time, instead of teaching me chemistry and balancing equations, he is teaching me about comprehensive sex education. So I stand on board to share that it should not be made a mandatory in school, but it should either be brought through other methods, but not in school. Our dear judges, I would like also, as the other affirmative comes on board, she should account at which extent do they want comprehensive sex education to be brought in school. As earlier stated that we are having PRC messages, peer in school, that the reason as to why we are here today. But we are saying that it is already there in school. So at what rate? To what extent? We are saying that it is being taught in schools, but it has failed. The rest my case.
The current speaker, I would like to question you on the following. You said students are getting pregnant. That is because there is no comprehensive sex education in schools.
I've already got your question.
If comprehensive sex education is implemented, the number of early pregnancies shall be low.
Our dear educators.
As my fellow speaker gave the audience, gave the proof that if comprehensive sex education was introduced in schools, such early cases of pregnancy shouldn't be happening.
Thank you very much. Our dear educators,
and
as I earlier stated that we are having PRC messages and peer education in schools, but there is still a high rate of girls getting pregnant in schools.
I would like you to... comprehensive sex education is not a mandatory in schools, then where should it be? You need to tell us.
Our dear educators, if she was very keen to listen to my speech, I gave an alternative method, for example, parental child education, and of which it will help them to learn more about comprehensive sex education.
Be a mandatory. Then you yourself spoke it that in your school you have prefects that you respect more than teachers. Isn't that a peer?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. As earlier stated that in schools we have prefects that are teaching us about that, but they are failing to answer that. So our dear affirmatives, if it is not beyond the rules of the debate, you can carry your seats to our side. Thank you.
When a lizard is to put on a trouser, it might think of where to put its tail. Sometimes I become flabbergasted with such members who only come to talk about things who don't know their conclusion and their beginning. You questioned my colleague, the second honorable, about a few things like to which rate. Let me tell you, the rate is 41%. According to the physical education book that the high table of the jurors you have, when you read the statement behind the three pictures that are presented there, you will see a statement that says, according to Uganda Bureau of Statistics, there is a 41% of children who drop out just because of pregnancy. Let me ask you something. Were you in Uganda or you were in America when COVID-19 was here? You yourself, you witnessed yourself when you spoke about like it is a cultural concern, it is a parental concern. During COVID-19 from 2019 to 2022, were your parents not living with them? Did you know the cases of early pregnancies, how they did increase? Were you not here in the country, Uganda? Let me tell you this, my friend. The roasting of a goat meat in the market, it does not stop the selling of goats. I would like at least to blow you with a fresh wind of intelligence. You know, I'd like to let it tell you that it is easy sometimes to steal a village drum, but hard to find where to beat it from. For instance, my colleague here posed a question to my fellow. Allow me to act like a polygamist. When I questioned my sister here, you all became rational about me. But allow me to also bring this understanding to you, that we are trying to say, when comprehensive sex is brought in schools, our children, including their futures, will be safe. This is what we are trying to mean. During most cases, when the children are taught about sex, they will be able, in most cases, to protect themselves. My dear high table of the jurors, you can see in that book of physical education, there is a girl who is trying to box a man who was trying to force her in an action. I think that was good, and that could not make the room hear it. With this, I rest my case. Thank you so much, and I wish you all.
Our
Our dear judges, we believe we are here to work as a team, and the questions, they just go to the team. If I asked you a question while asking your first speaker, I was just asking, it was just about, are you aware that students are not aware of sex? You didn't reply the question. And I just asked that an easy question. It was just like, what is the importance of education? You didn't answer the question. So if you, as a team, you are not aware of the importance of education, then what are you convincing to the world? What are they convincing us? Because they don't know the importance of education, but they are just convincing us. No. That's a poor approach, my guys. One of the impacts of your education, it was just going to expose some information to the young ones. Just imagine introducing some information about sex to someone who is at least, or who is 11 years. Because if I'm just considering secondary level, like assume someone is in senior one, and you are just telling a student in senior one how to play sex, like how to prevent yourself. Guys, it was a poor approach. There is another point of misinformation. Here, I will be somehow biological in terms of, because some of you are aware that when a person, after like having sex, you will use like an emergency pill to prevent the sex. But we are all aware, to anyone who offers biology here, you are aware that even when you have sex, on an ovulation day, you can get pregnant. Isn't that misinformation? Because most of you are really aware that if you just swallow an emergency pill, you want to get pregnant, of which it's not the case. Then, the second speaker just asked you, how will you implement? How will you implement the education? No one answered the question. How will you implement? Will it just come from nowhere that we are just going to introduce a mandatory thing in a school? No. This is not the way we do things. Our dear judges, allow me to rest my case.
So that we go for lunch when we already know what we should expect next. So let's first have Gusita giving us our model debate. Then after that, we shall head straight for lunch. And after, come back and do our final round of debate. So I believe the teams are already chosen. The resolution is already there. So we are going to go straight to our
Panel, 2 competing chambers plus the House at large, I greet you all. Panel, my name is Honorable Komhimba Robina. Panel, this House believes that gender-based violence is the key contributing factor for school dropout and early marriage. Panel, allow me to defend the key terms in the resolution. My key term number 1 is gender. Gender means biological sex of an individual, that is female or male. Panel, my second key term is violence. Violence means behaviors that hurt or kill people. Panel, allow me to air out my points. Panel, my point number 1 is decreased academic performance. My second point is community pressure. My third point is lack of cooperation. My last point is society norms. Panel, allow me to give more views about my points. Panel, as I have told you, my point number 1 was decreased academic performance. Our dear judges, gender-based violence can cause hostile learning environment leading to decreased academic performance. Our dear judges, allow me to use the schools. For example, our dear judges, you could find that in schools, some of the teachers are carrying out segregation. And if you carry out segregation, the pupils will decrease on their performance. In which way? Our dear judges, you could find that the pupils are wise, or some pupils are wise, but the teacher will not take care of them, will not love them, will not take care of them, and the pupils will lose hope, which will lead to school dropout. And once you drop out from school, you will be married. You will be forced to be married. Our dear judges, my second point was community pressures. Community pressure. Our dear judge, gender-based violence can contribute to early marriage. Family may think to protect their daughters from future harm. Our dear judges, here I mean, for example, when you're at school, there are some people who are forcing you to drop out from school. Our dear judges, for example, the men, you could find that the girl is schooling, but there are some people who are forcing her to drop out from school. You could find that the men are telling you that to drop out from school and we go and make our family. And we got and start working and earn our money. Then you will drop. After dropping, our dear judge allowed me to rest my case, and I'm ready for cross-examination.
Explain how decreased academic performance related to gender-based violence.
Decreased academic performance is...
How? Explain how decreased academic performance related to gender-based violence.
Gender-based violence is related to decreased academic performance in a way that you could find, as I have told you, some teachers carry out segregation. And if they carry out segregation, you will lose hope. Even if you are wise, you will lose hope and drop out from school.
What is segregation?
Segregation means divisionism. All segregation is the favoring of one side and pressing another.
Thank you.
Panel, 2 competing sides plus the House at large. I salute you all. Panel, my name is Honorable Biarhanga Adolf. Panel, the resolution of today states that gender-based violence is a key contributing factor for school dropout and early marriages. According to my side, we state it as gender-based violence is not a key contributing factor for school dropout due to the following reasons. One is the type of people in the environment. The second is peer pressure. The third is lack of scholastic materials. The fourth is poor methods of teaching. Panel, allow me to talk about some of my points. First is lack of scholastic materials. Scholastic materials are materials that a school-going child cannot go out school without. Examples of scholastic materials, we have books, pens, mathematical sets, uniform, and many others. Pano, the second point is the type of people in the environment. Our dear judges, as you know that we have many types of people in the environment who can also contribute to school dropout and early marriages. Pano, for example, you can see many people have a lot of money, yet they didn't go to school. So you can take that as an example and you stop schooling. Pano, I submit and read for cross-examination.
I would like to know from the first speaker from the negator side that how is peer influence related to gender-based violence?
It will be answered by the second speaker.
Okay. How urgent is your solution?
2 years.
Who are you?
I'm the Ministry of Education and Sports.
How is poor teaching methods related to gender-based violence that the government... No, dear judges, fight answer. Take a note of that. Thank you.
Panel of judges, 2 competing chambers plus the audience salutation. I, Honorable Kamutia, the second speaker from the negator side. Resolution. Gender-based violence is a key contributing factor for school dropout and early marriages. But the team negators have come on board claiming that gender-based violence is not a key contributing factor for school dropout and early marriages. We have asked them a question that how is poor teaching methods related to gender-based violence? They have failed to answer. So why are you talking about poor teaching methods, yet you don't know the relationship of poor teaching methods with gender-based violence? They also gave a point of lack of scholastic materials, but yet lack of scholastic materials is due to gender-based violence. If your parents are not cooperative, so that's when you cannot get scholastic materials. So that's why we are claiming that gender-based violence is a key contributing factor for school dropout and early marriages. A breakdown of argument. Decreased academic performance. Gender-based violence can cause hostile learning environment leading to decreased academic performance. If the teacher is segregative, he can say that, you girls, if you fail my exams, I will give you cans. But you boys, even if you fail the exams, I will not give you any punishment. So the girls can say that, let's drop out from school and become married earlier. So that's why we are claiming that gender-based violence is a key contributing factor for school dropout and early marriages. There is anxiety and depression. Survivors of gender-based violence may experience anxiety and depression, which makes difficulty to focus on their studies. Depression can also lead to inability to concentrate on studies or particular responsibilities. This sign may be especially disturbing all the people who are concerned about education, and the year one spent in studying will not be productive. So that's why we are claiming that gender-based violence is a key contributing factor for school dropout and early marriages. Community pressures. Gender-based violence contributes to early marriages as the family may seek protect their daughters from further harm due to community pressures. In the ancient years, the Bato used to take their daughters when they were still very young to their in-laws until they learn domestic work so that they can be taken to their husbands. Panel submission and ready for cross-examination.
Okay. How is anxiety and depression related to gender-based violence?
Enough time to answer. Anxiety and depression is related to gender-based violence. If you are a survivor of gender-based violence, you can experience anxiety and depression. And anxiety and depression leads to inability to concentrate. So if you feel anxiety and depression, you can drop out from school and you become married earlier.
What is gender-based violence?
Gender-based violence is the type of violence basing on male and female.
Thank you.
Panel, 2 competing teams plus audience. Good afternoon.
Panel, we've heard a lot from team affirmers saying that gender-based violence is a key contributing factor for school dropout and early marriages due to the following reasons: that there is decreased academic performance, anxiety and depression, community pressures and anxiety and depression. But that gender-based violence can cause hostile learning in the environment, leading to decreased academic performance. But panel, some children can also fail according to the teachers and their teaching character. When the teachers are segregative, they can be teaching and segregating other children. And panel, you see these teachers were trained and got qualified, but when they reach schools, they also promote their other habits like practicing tribalism, segregating children, and some teachers can hate children naturally, which will lead other pupils to drop out of school. But not gender-based violence is a key contributing factor for school dropout and early marriages. Panel, a break of arguments. On our side, as negators, we have points. The first point is lack of scholastic materials. The second type is poor teaching methods. The third point is the type of people in our environment. The fourth point is peer pressure. Panel, allow me to explain some of my points. My point number one was lack of scholastic materials. Lack of scholastic materials such as uniform, pens, books, shoes, among others. When you don't have books, when you go to school without books where to write in, and you are the only person in the whole school in an area, you are even barefooted, your fellows will start laughing at you and you get ashamed of yourself, which will make you to drop out of school. So why are you claiming that gender-based violence is a key contributing factor for school dropout and early marriages? Panel, the point number two was poor teaching methods. These teachers were trained and got qualified, but when they reach schools, they also practice other habits like segregating children. And when these teachers start segregating children, like segregating boys and girls, we say, for me, I'm going to care about girls, about boys, but for you girls, you see, you have big breasts, you are ugly, but for me, my boys, even though they are ugly, even though they are handsome, I can't care. I will take care of my boys. And the girls, submission and wait for cross-examination.
How urgent is your solution?
2 years.
Who are you?
I'm the Ministry of Culture, Gender and Social Development.
Give the rate at which teachers hate teachers naturally.
35%.
Thank you.
Panel, 2 competing chambers plus the House at large. I salute you all. Resolve. Gender-based violence is the key contributing factor for school dropout and early marriage. Dear judges, we've heard a lot from these negators talking about poor teaching methods. No. Dear judges, you can't come here and telling us that poor teaching methods are the ones leading school dropout and early marriage, because it is a child who is supposed to be active in class so that he can get what the teacher is talking about. That poor teaching methods are not leading a child to drop out from school, because even the government is trying to provide all things to the teachers so that they can teach a child to learn well and concentrate. The government has provided textbooks, has built institutes for the colleges for the teachers to learn how to teach pupils, but do not come here but claiming that poor teaching methods are the one leading to school dropout and early marriage. They said about scholastic materials. Lack of scholastic materials is caused by gender-based violence, because you may find that at home, parents focus on boys. They can say that boys are the ones supposed to go to school because they are the ones who are going to head their families, to know the knowledge so that they can head their families. But the girls, anytime they may go to marry. And that, don't claim that gender-based violence is not a key contributing factor for school dropout. But dear judges, gender-based violence is the key contributing factor for school dropout and early marriage. A break of arguments. Decrease academic performance. Gender-based violence can cause hostile learning environments leading to decreased academic performance. Dear judge, you may find that the teacher in class cannot focus on girls. Can say that girls, anytime they will go for marriage, but boys are the ones who are supposed to concentrate. So that will lead a girl to say that let me drop out from school, anxiety and depression. Dear judge, survivors of gender-based violence may experience anxiety and depression, making it difficult to focus on their studies. Dear judge, you may find that the child began to learn since nursery, but when he or she reaches in PC, can say that when will I complete studies, when will I reach in secondary, when will I finish studying, and that will lead a child to drop out from school. So don't claim it. Gender-based violence is not the key contributing factor for school dropout and early marriage. But dear judges, gender-based violence is the key contributing factor for school dropout and early marriage. Dear judge, community pressure. Gender-based violence can contribute to early marriage as a family may seek to protect their daughter from further harm due to community pressure. People in the community may start telling a child that for us, we didn't go to school. We have our businesses. We are earning a living. Now why are you wasting their time going to school to study? Come, drop out from school. And that will force our parents to say that let me... I rest my case.
Our dear judges, two competing sides plus the audience. Good afternoon. My name is Honorable Tumusabe Derrick, the third speaker from the negator's side. Our dear judges, the affirmers came here on board telling us that gender-based violence is a key contributing factor of school dropouts and early marriages due to the following reasons. One is decreased academic performance, anxiety and depression, community pressure, societal norms, and lack of cooperation. But I, as a negator, I disagree with the resolution stated by the affirmers due to the following reasons. One is lack of scholastic materials. Many students face early school dropout, not cause of the resolution as stated by the affirmers. But a high number of students face these challenges because of the inadequacy and inconsistent supply and provision of the school-related learning and supportive materials. For example, books, pens, pencils, mathematical sets, uniforms, among others. These materials are aids of learning and greatly support and motivate students to keep in school. The second point is the type of people in our environment. For proper learning, students require role models. These can be parents, religious leaders, and political heads. The absence of such people that are learned and taking exemplary role to younger students can make students to lose interest in staying in school and hence drop out of school. And hence drop out of school, joining the fellow unlearned population they refer as their role models. The third point is peer pressure, bad teenage of young age. At a certain age in life, teenage years make students to lose concentration to keep in school. Our dear judges, at this age, students need a lot of guidance and counseling about the importance of studying. Students can join bad groups of taking alcohol and drugs and end up being addictive to these drugs. And most times they fail to continue with their studies. The last point is poor teaching methods. This can be in form of corporal punishment, fast all quick learning methods of teaching, where students can fail to cope up with their learning and hence failing the exams. This finally makes students to lose the morale to keep in school and see themselves as failures. In conclusion, prevent and respond to gender-based violence in schools and communities. Engage local communities to challenge harmful societal norms. Arrest maker.
A round of applause for Busita Primary School. You see, one thing interesting about primary school debates is the honesty in those debates. No squirreling, no zigzagging, everything is straightforward and honest. So we really appreciate them. So we had Team A and Team B, and now we are going to subject the judgment to public opinion. So who do you think wins this round? Who do you think wins the round? Team A, by show of hands. Team A? No. I want people to know specifically. Team B? So this is not a technical vote. This is a public opinion vote. So the public opinion vote credits Team A. Thank you so much, guys, for the nice presentation. Okay, so I'm told they have another presentation. I see they are gearing up for something. So you can present it as well as we prepare for the lunch.
Busita Primary School peer educators presenting a poem about mental health.
Shattered mirrors, my mind is a mess. Dark and deep, a labyrinth of thoughts where shadows creep.
Anxiety grip, a constant fear, a word that persists year after year.
Depression fog, a heavy myth that shrouds my soul and refuses to lift. The world outside, a distant hum as I struggle to find a peaceful drum. The voices whisper, you're not enough, a chorus of doubt that echoes and wrath.
The mirror's reflection, a distorted view, a self-portrait of a soul that bruised and bloomed.
But still I search for a glimmer of light, a beacon of hope in the darkness night, a chance to heal, to mend and to grow, to find my strength and let my spirit flow.
Healing journey. The journey is long and a winding road, with twists and turns that test my load. But with each step, I find my way. Thought therapy, support, and a new day. The fog begins to lift, the sun shines bright. A new perspective, a fresh sight. I learn to cope, to manage my fears, to find my voice and dry my tears.
Empowerment. I am not my illness. I'm more than my pain.
I'm a warrior with scars that remain.
I'm a survivor with a story to tell.
A tale of strength, of trials, and of hell.
I will not be defined by my darkness night.
I will rise above and shine with all my light.
And I will heal and I will ignite. Hope and resilience. Mental health matters. It's time to say, let's talk about it and share our fear.
And fight the strength to wipe away our tears. We are not alone. We are stronger and brave. We will rise above and find our way.
With every step,
with every breath, we will heal, we will grow, and we will be our best.
be crying in a Bentley, sipping on Hennessy, drying on my tears with some $100 bills. Feeling down in Fendi, but I got plenty money for the pain in the world. Chilling in the biz, just like Justin Bieber, cause I got the money, I don't care. And you can put that on my visa, roll me like with Caesar. You know now we global, bitch, I'm here. So far from where we coming from, and we don't stop until it's done. They said money don't buy you happiness, money can't buy you love, money can't fill this emptiness, but I want all the money in the world. Money don't buy you happiness, money can't buy you love, money don't fill this emptiness, but I want all the money.
Good afternoon, viewers. Good afternoon, our dear discussants. My name is Goret, a moderator of this talk show. Today we are very much privileged for hosting very big and important people in the studio of Fort TV, broadcasting in Fort Portal City. Banueli and the program manager, Peer Education, Rwenzori.
Good afternoon, viewers. Once again, my name is Banua Lillian, the program manager, Peer Education, Rwenzori. I'm happy to be on the show. Stay tuned.
Kemgabo Catherine, peer educator Kabarole, and a board member of Peer Education, Rwenzori.
Good afternoon, viewers. Once again, my name is Kemgabo Catherine, peer educator Kabarole, and a board member, Peer Education, Rwenzori. I'm happy to be on the show. Stay tuned.
Shomgasho Mary, peer educator, Rwenzori.
Good afternoon, viewers. I'm very happy to be on the show today. Stay tuned.
Mwesiga Richard, program coordinator, Peer Education, Rwenzori.
Good afternoon, viewers. Once again, my name is Mwesiga Richard, the program coordinator. I'm very happy to be on the show. Stay tuned.
As I have told you, I am the moderator of this talk show. Our today's topic of discussion is mental health. Mental health refers to our emotional, physiological, and social well-being. It influences the way we think, feel, and behave, and how they cope with stress, relate to others, and make choices. It encompasses various aspects of our lives. These are emotional well-being, managing emotions, stress, and relationships; physiological well-being, managing thoughts, feelings, and behavior that impact our mental health; social connection. This involves the building and maintaining of relationships. For that background, dear viewers, stay tuned for TV as I welcome the first discussant, who is Banueli and the program manager, Peer Education, Rwenzori, talking about types of mental illness, signs and symptoms of mental illness.
Thank you, Madam Moderator, for giving me this opportunity. Once again, my name is Banua Lillian, the program manager, Peer Education, Rwenzori. Dear viewers, as you have heard from the moderator, that I'll be talking about the types of mental illness. Let's see the types of mental illness. The first type we have mood disorder, such as depression. The second type is anxiety disorder. On anxiety disorder, you are too excited or emotional. My third type is personality disorder. On personality disorder, here you are more active, dull, or jolly. And the fourth type is eating disorder. Dear viewers, if you know that you eat too much food or little food, also know that you have a mental disorder. Dear viewers, my last type is trauma-related disorder. On trauma-related disorder, here you are more brave or fearful. Dear viewers, my last type of mental illness is substance use disorder. On substance use disorder, here you use drugs like alcohol, marijuana, cocaine, and among others. Dear viewers, stay tuned as we wish you the best. Let's also see the signs and symptoms of mental illness. Here are the signs and symptoms of mental illness. The first sign is unusual illogical thoughts, unreasonable anger, poor concentration and memory, or not being able to follow the conversation, increased or decreased sleep, increased or low appetite, lack of motivation, withdrawing from people, drug use, and not looking after your personal hygiene or other activities. Dear viewers, stay tuned for TV as I wish you the best and you learn more about mental health. I remain as Banua Lillian, the Program Manager, Peer Education Rwenzori. I submit.
Thank you for your submission. You have talked about the types of mental illness. You have talked about mood disorder, personality disorder, among others. You have also talked about the signs and symptoms of mental illness such as lack of motivation, unusual or illogical thoughts, and many others. Dear viewers, don't go away. Stay tuned for TV as I am welcoming the second discussant, who is Kemgabo Catherine, peer educator Kabarole, and a board member, Peer Education Rwenzori, talking about factors that influence mental health.
Thank you, Madam Moderator, for giving me this opportunity. Once again, my name is Kemgabo Catherine, peer educator Kabarole, and a board member, Peer Education Rwenzori. As the moderator has told you that, I'm going to talk about factors that influence mental health. Under factors that influence mental health, we have three categories. The first one is biological factors, physiological factors, and social factors. Under biological factors, we have genetics. Family history of mental health conditions can increase an individual's risk. More to that, physical health. Physical health such as chronic illness and brain injuries can affect mental health. Physiological factors. Under physiological factors, we have trauma and abuse. Past experiences of trauma and abuse can increase an individual's risk. Our dear viewers, coping skills. Individuals with strong coping mechanisms are better equipped to manage stress and adversity. Addiction and substance abuse. Our dear viewers, substance misuse can increase mental problems. Social factors. Under social factors, we have social support. Individuals with strong social connection and relationships provide a protection against stress and can support mental health. Environment. The physical and social environment, including factors like poverty, violence, and discrimination, can influence mental well-being. Our dear viewers, life events. Life events such as job loss, financial instability, or relationship difficulties can be stressful, leading to mental health. Lastly, cultural and societal expectations. Cultural norms and societal pressures can impact self-esteem and mental health. Our dear viewers, stay tuned as I wish you the best. I submit.
Thank you for your submission. You have talked about the factors that influence mental health. You have talked about the biological factors, which includes genetics, physiological factors, which includes trauma and abuse, and social factors, which includes social support. Dear viewers, stay tuned for TV broadcasting in Fort Portal City as I welcome the third discussant, who is Chomgasho Mary, peer educator Rwenzori, talking about reasons why we should maintain mental health.
Thank you, Madam Moderator, for giving me this opportunity. Dear viewers, once again, my name is Chomgasha Mary, peer educator Rwenzori. As we have heard from the moderator saying that, I'm going to be talking about reasons why we should maintain good mental health. And the reasons we have, Poor mental health makes us more vulnerable to certain physical problems, such as heart diseases and stroke. Good mental health helps us to make meaningful contributions to our family, community, and society. The third point is, good mental health is good. It helps us to prevent the development of mental illness. The fourth point is, good mental health is good. It helps us to cope up with our difficult times in our lives. The fifth point is, good mental health is good. It helps us to make meaningful contributions to our family, community, and society. The last point is, our moods are improved and self-esteem enhanced when our mental health is good. I submit, dear viewers, I remain as Chomgasha Mary, peer educator, Rwenzori.
Thank you for your submission. You have talked about the reasons why we should maintain mental health. It prevents us from getting diseases like the heart diseases and stroke, and it also helps us to cope up with stress. Dear viewers, stay tuned for TV broadcasting in Fort Portal City as I welcome the fourth discussant, who is Mwesiga Richard, Program Coordinator, Peer Education Rwenzori, talking about the good mental health techniques.
Thank you, Madam Moderator, for giving me this opportunity. Once again, my name is Mwesiga Richard, the Program Coordinator. Our dear viewers, as the moderator told you that I will talk about good mental health techniques. Our dear viewers, the first thing, you should pay attention to how your body feels and what your body is telling you. For example, are you feeling more stressed? Are you having trouble in sleeping? Do you feel you don't have enough energy? In addition to that, be physically active. Exercising regularly can help you to feel better and sleep better. It can also enhance your ability to concentrate. More to that, engage in relaxing activities such as listening to music, reading a Bible, meditation, among others. Our dear viewers, you should eat a healthy, all-balanced diet to ensure your body is getting all the nutrients it needs to function properly. Lastly, avoid engaging yourself in drugs such as mirror, alcohol, marijuana, cocaine. They may damage your body organs such as liver, brain, kidney, among others. In conclusion, by understanding and prioritizing mental health, we can improve our overall well-being and equality life. I remain as Mwesiga Richard, the Program Coordinator. I submit.
Thank you for your submission. You have talked about the good mental health techniques, such as you pay attention to how your body feels. You also engage yourself in relaxing activities. Dear viewers, stay tuned for TV broadcasting in Fort Portal City. And I would like to extend greetings to peer educators and supporters of Fort TV from Mpanga SS, St. Maria Great Girls School, Chebambe Girls, Kahinj SS, St. Leo's College, Chegove, Kitumba SS, Nyachugumba SS, Fort Portal SS, Kivito SS, Rimi SS, Rutete SS, King of King College, Kabaroli Adventist, Kamengo SS, and I would like to extend the special greetings to Busita Primary School peer educators. Stay tuned for TV as you learn more about peer education. That is the end of our talk show.
Thank you so much, Busita Primary School, for that TV show. So guys, listen carefully. Now, we are edging closer to lunchtime, and I have just one task so that I can release you and you go for lunch. Some people are already eating, but that is not a problem. So guys, I have to break the teams that are heading to the finals before we go for lunch. You know, someone told me that the ultimate measure of heroes is not how talented they are, but how best they can handle pain and disappointment. So far, for those who have been disappointed and you've managed to stay patient and calm, we are so happy. You are the ultimate heroes of today. So I am going to break teams. We had 4 semi-finalists. Semi-final 1, we had Kahinju in affirmative versus St. Leo's College in negative. And semi-final 2, we had Kitumba in affirmative and Kibito in negative. Isn't that the case? Yes, it is. So in semi-final 1, the judges decided. It was a very intense deliberation, and 2 judges voted for one team, and 1 judge voted for the other. It means the team with the majority of the judges proceeds to the finals, and the team is St. Leo's proceeding to the finals. Now, the same issue happened with semi-final 2, where we had Kitumba in affirmative and Shibito in negative. It was the longest deliberation we've had this year. The judges couldn't agree. They agreed on some issues. They couldn't agree on others, but it was well worth the argument. And we ended up with a 2-to-1 split ballot that sent Kibito SS to the finals. So what does this mean? Means we have a final of St. Leo's College Chiagobe versus Kibito SS. So we are going to have representatives picking sides. Then after picking sides, we head for lunch. Then immediately after lunch, we head to our final round. So let's choose sides as we prepare.
So, members, our lunch is ready, but we want to be organized, okay? As the debaters come, we will be calling school per school to go. So, Kibito SS, kindly follow. Kibito SS, follow. St. Leo's. But we want 1 person from each school, St. Leo's and Kibito, to come first. Oh, they are here. All right. So,
there is so much to live for today. Without a doubt, we will be okay. Oh. Live it up, do it in my way. Now me the king, now me the kingdom. Reach for the stars if you can a day. Let's reach it up like yay.
So, Chebambe girls, follow from the other side. Follow. Maria Goret.